This 12-minute video shows you the faces of families struggling to find decent, affordable housing. Some of them are experiencing homelessness. You'll hear their stories as well as reflections from people like you who are trying to help them. We hope you will be as moved and inspired as we are to truly be the church, to work as a church and as individuals toward this goal, ensuring that no one is forced to live in substandard, unsafe housing or experiences homelessness.
This first clip from Family Promise of Southern Chester County addresses our perceptions about homelessness. Alyssa, a mom who was homeless and participated in the program, describes her journey. Watch.
For children, homelessness is devastating. It's demoralizing. It's everything that you want to prevent your child from having to know.
I think we all have preconceived notions of what homelessness is, and what this has shown to me is I had no idea what homelessness is. No idea. It can happen to anybody.
Homelessness looks just like me, looks like you.
It could be the little girl who plays soccer with your little girl. It could be the person sitting next to you in the dentist's office.
It very well could be the person that you're shopping with in the grocery store. It very well could be one of your coworkers. So it's not at all what you think.
I was terrified. I was so scared. I didn't know what to expect. And they completely eased me, made me feel very relaxed. You know, a lot of families do go through struggles, and sometimes you gotta work hard for it. And they reassured me that they would help me and my family build a stability for us, and that made me feel really safe and comfortable, and being able to open up to them so that they can help me help my kids more. The feelings that I get and seeing how far that I've came from before is amazing. Sometimes there are days where I'm tired and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. But then I'll talk to Family Promise because I'm still connected with them. They become my family. I am incredibly grateful for the volunteers and Family Promise, Miss Sue and Rosa, because this is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me and my family. And I honestly can say that I don't regret ever being a part of this program or this family. And I will do and make sure I succeed, and so I can let other families know that you can succeed. It's you're just in a tough time.
Next are some reflections from Habitat for Humanity homeowners and volunteers. Moving into a decent, affordable home of your own is truly life-changing. Watch the faces on the new homeowners.
We've been here 11 years, so the first home was 15 years ago, so we're one of the early ones.
Yeah, I enjoyed working, doing my hours. I had to do like 175. Was more for me training than working. It was never a waste of time.
It takes a lot of hard work to place a worthy client in a home. But one thing everyone involved with Habitat will agree on is that the effort is always worth the end result. An appreciative smile on the face of a happy homeowner.
That's a real delight. See the smile on their faces. Most of these folks have never had a home before.
Last year they had a dedication, and this woman who had put her hours in said how hard it was because she was a single mother, but she did it, and she showed me her house, and she was so proud. And that's the payoff when you have a good house.
And we were looking just for a 2-bedroom apartment, and we couldn't afford it. We had come to a really low point in our lives, and we were asking God to help us to provide a place, because we knew that my son needed to get out of our room, and then we heard about Habitat and was able to definitely not only rent, but we were able to own our home, which was something that we never thought we were able to kind of to do is to own a home.
My son, he used to be like 3 years old. I never forgot. He used to cry, "Mommy, I'm cold. Mommy, I'm cold." And I used to hide my tears. We don't have heat. I have just one cover. I don't even have covers. And now we have heat at least. I have a heat. I have a warm house. We have everything we need in this house. It's a nice looking house, and I just love my house. That's it.
Here is Joy's story. Joy is a mother who was helped by Chester County's Decade to Doorways program to end homelessness. She called Connect Points, the county's homeless hotline, to get help. She was directed to a Friends Association caseworker who helped her secure a safe and decent place to live. Listen to her gratitude for the extraordinary efforts of her caseworker.
Well, for me and my children and my family, it's been difficult. It's been hard. And I just thank God that when I called Connect Points, they did refer me to Friends, and I finally did get a case manager that is willing to help my family, where a lot of doors were closed prior. But I moved to Coatesville, Pennsylvania, and I was in a house for 3 years, always paid my rent every month on time, was never late. The neighbors basically had moved out, and the bed bugs came through the walls. And I was very angry at the time. My kids were getting eat up. I have pictures and doctor notes. And I went to my landlord, like a reasonable person would do, and I said, we have this issue. And basically she's like, well, you're going to fix it. And if I always pay my rent to you, I feel as though that you should have took my word if there's an issue. She didn't want to fix the problem, so I called the city on her, and I decided to leave the house. When I was walking in the summer, like 90-degree weather, trying to find a place for me and my kids, I was really frustrated, and I was really hurt. Came here, got a case manager, I think I kind of overwhelmed her, and I don't like taking things from her because she has a lot going on. But like I said, she has helped me. She advocated for my kids when I was asking people to do that because my kids have IEPs and disabilities. Nobody would kind of help me. So when I got with her, she was dealing with multiple things, and then on top of that, she took mine and she's taking me to school. She's getting things done. She's kind of like me. I want to get things done. She hears me. Where if I get up in the morning and I see her, I could just talk, just be myself. I don't have to be someone else. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to walk around like I'm not being heard. I feel comfortable with a case manager because she's hearing me, she's understanding me, she's never put me down, she's never said you can't accomplish nothing. You know what I mean? She just said the sky is the limit to me. So it just made me feel like, okay, somebody is in my corner that's willing to go the extra mile, willing to help me. And I believe that my case manager, I don't know about other case managers, but mine, I believe that she's been kind of like a lifesaver to me in a way. I do want to go to school. That is my dream, to go back to school. I want to give back. That's my life story, give back. Because everything was taken from me, why not give back? Like I said, you could be hopeless in any situation, but still be hopeful.
The next mom, Nair, was homeless and living in her car. Bridge of Hope helped her turn her life around. Watch the self-confidence that has developed.
I didn't want no one to help me. I didn't want anyone to know what I was going through. I had this image that, I was smiling through all the stuff that I was going through and I was going to be okay. I was kind of living out of my car. I started getting more away and away from my daughter. I said something has to change. I came to Bridge of Hope because I felt like I was at a dead end. I kind of had to tell myself, these are people you don't know. You have to learn how to trust them. So I was kind of scared, I didn't want them in my business, but how am I going to let them help me through this program if I don't let them, After I gained trust, they became more like family and friends. I knew that I could trust them and tell them things. And the relationship that we built and the bond that we built was one of the things that I appreciated the most throughout the entire thing. I kind of knew that I was where I wanted to be when I was able to, budget my money and say, okay, you can't do this, or you have to save, or, remember some of the things that you learned throughout the program about yourself. And I'm able to trust even my coworkers even. Just like I was able to trust my neighboring volunteers, I got into a position at my job that I never thought I would. They offered me a leadership position as a supervisor on second shift. I never saw that coming. But, I started showing that I cared, about myself and what I was doing and my job. And I think it just made a huge impact with my life and how things have been ever since I graduated.
Kennett Area Community Services helps those living in poverty. Hear from volunteers, service providers, and those being helped, including a mother who talks about how hard it is to find affordable housing.
My involvement with the food cupboard started when I was actually a client. Either choosing between paying bills or buying food, I needed to do something. So I started coming here and it has blessed us tremendously. And then after that, I got involved with Food Committee, a great committee to be on, learning how everything works with the Kennett Area Community Services and how people are coming together to make sure that there is no one going hungry in Kennett Square and the surrounding areas.
I believe every person deserves a roof over their head.
I believe every family deserves a roof over their head.
Well, I think everybody should have a bed to sleep in and a roof above their head and be warm so that they can do the job the next day and support the family.
Yo creo que cada niño merece tener 3 comidas al día y también las personas de la tercera edad. Es muy importante.
Gracias por ayudarnos, por siempre por estar pendiente de uno. Gracias.
But with the amount that is in my household, I have been trying to find a bigger place to live, and unfortunately, there just absolutely is not a place that would meet my income. Therefore, I have to stay where I'm at, which I do have a roof over my head, thank God for that. But I had lived in Kennett since I was a little girl, and it was affordable. My mom raised us, and we were able to stay here, and we had a great time. Me moving back to Kennett, I know it was going to be a little bit of a struggle because with the way things are going, everything is so much more expensive, and the housing market is just really not where it used to be. Being able to have their own, I think that if there was affordable housing, it would make a big difference in our community, even statewide, even in our country.
I believe that each of us plays a part in making our community strong.
I believe we can end hunger. I believe we can end homelessness. Alone, we can do so little, but together, we can do this.
I believe that each of us plays a part in making our community strong.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
We will reduce poverty.
We will reduce poverty.
We will come out stronger.
We will find everyone a bed if they want it.
Be the change you wish to see in your community.
We at Westminster have been truly blessed. Let us now be a blessing to those who need affordable housing or are experiencing homelessness.
Let us use our talents to bring together like-minded people, organizations, and especially other communities of faith to work toward ensuring that no one is forced to live in substandard, unsafe housing or experiences homelessness.